Hey up me ducks, Chelsea here from Studio Simley, and today we're back in Willow Creek renovating the starter home from my last video. As you can see, my first step here was removing the roof. Because I used floor tiles to roof the starter home before, it was counting towards my tile count. So straight away went and removed that roof, removed those stairs, and that takes us down to 84 tiles, which is small enough under the new requirements. Anything below 100 tiles counts as a small home. Below 64 is a tiny home, and below 32 is a micro home. But I wasn't happy just going in for a small home. I wanted to make it a tiny home because you get more perks with a tiny home than you do with a small home. So that's what I'm doing here, just making the rooms a little bit smaller. I still wanted to make sure I got a separate bedroom. I'm not sure yet whether I'm brave enough to use the Killer Murphy bed, so I haven't in any of my builds so far. I might, but as it stands at the moment, I'm a little too attached to my Sims. Just playing with the terrain paint now, making sure that it fits the new location of the deck. And going back in and redecorating the inside. Both these builds are available on the gallery, by the way. Both the original starter home, which was one bedroom, I think it came out around 16,000 simoleons, and then this one, again, still one bedroom, but it is no longer a starter home. I can't remember what it comes out at, but we'll see together at the end. As you can see, I'm just adding a proper roof in so that it doesn't add to my floor tiles. And we're down to 62 out of 64 possible tiles to meet the requirements for a tier 2 tiny home. I don't think it looks that much smaller than the original starter home that was there, which I think is one of the great things about it. I don't feel like this feels that different to any other starter home, although as I say, it's not within a starter budget anymore. But I don't think it's that far out. Maybe I'm wrong. Just going back in and making all those columns black. And trying to trick the game into letting me make that column higher, but apparently no. That's not what the elongated columns are for. I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird, I am a bit sniffly. British winter time. There's not a lot I can do about it. Be thankful you got a voiceover at all. Or not. Maybe you'd rather I didn't do these. Let me know in the comments. There we go, I'm just trying to find some windows that fit and don't seem huge in the tiny space we've got. I know I end up going for those ones from Get Famous, the small vertical rectangle ones at the front, but I can't remember what I used on the rest of the build. Not those. It was not those. Keep trying, Chelsea. Nope. Maybe. Oh, move objects. There we go. Beautiful. So base game windows in the end. I'm not sure that's the final layout either. I'm pretty sure the bathroom in this ends up only being 4 tiles. And at the moment it's 6. But we'll see what I do, because at the moment we're still outside. Oh, just in time for us to head in. This is me just checking out the new items. As I say, Tiny Living I didn't get until a few days after its release, so it was all still a bit new to me. Just added in the kitchen into this little alcove space. And you'll notice I'm not using a sink, I'm just putting a dishwasher in, because then that gives us 2 usable counter spaces, whereas if I used a sink I'd only have the 1 usable counter. So I just think that looked a little better. Yeah, you can see I'm already getting pretty low on money, so I will definitely need to be cheating some more money in. I can't remember how much I needed to cheat in, so we'll find out together. Using some of the new Tiny Living chairs, I thought they were really cute. I must say I love the style of this new pack, and I sized up that little hanging plant and put it on the front. That's new from the Tiny Living pack, and again I love it. I really like the style in this new pack, and I feel like it adds a lot of gameplay with the whole 3 tiers of tiny home thing. I think a lot of stuff packs don't add nearly as much depth to the game as this has added, so points to EA for that. It's probably my favourite stuff pack, although, you know, I say that like my opinion matters to EA. They know I'll buy it regardless. They must know by now. Oh look, considering a Murphy bed. No, they are death traps. And as usual, going in with the base game sofa because it has got the best swatches in the whole game. I also got the movie hangout stuff pack the same day as Tiny Living, so you will see me messing about with some of the swatches for that because I've not had it before, so I wanted to check it out. I must say I love the aesthetics of that pack as well. I'm really pleased to have it in my game. I only need 2 more packs to fill up my whole start sequence, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting those 2 at some point. Downsize that lamp. Can't make my mind up whether that looks weird or not. Remove the table. I think for a tiny home to fit a 4-seat table is pretty impressive. I don't know whether you think it's impressive, but I think it's impressive, so. Still got a 6-tile bathroom and I'm sure it goes down to 4. Yeah, that's not how it ends up. I'm not sure at what point I realise. No, put the Murphy bed down, Chelsea. Use a normal bed. It'll save you money. I decided to go for wall lights because obviously I can't fit bedside tables without putting the bed against a wall. And I didn't want to do that. And this is probably the point where I realised that the bathroom could be a tile smaller and I could have the dresser in the bedroom. So that's what I'm doing now, just moving around the bathroom so that it can become a 4-tile bathroom and give us an extra 2 tiles in the bedroom for a chest of drawers. Although you don't technically need one, you can use a mirror. So if you are trying to make a 32-tile micro home, but you still want somewhere for your Sims to get changed, I know that with Tiny Living there is the new really tall slim dresser, which is great for space saving, but your Sims can get changed using just a mirror. So use a wall mirror and it takes up pretty much no space. So there's a little space saving trick for you if you didn't already know that. Oh, there you go, that's the dresser I was on about from Tiny Living. Ah, yes, I even put, I put a computer desk in there as well. I think having a computer is really important, because you Sims use it for a lot of things, and you get better fun from a computer than you do from a cheap TV, so. Finishing touches now, by the looks of it. Ah, right, that's what I'm doing. I'm going back round and using move objects to re-add the clutter. For some reason it looks like my recording hasn't worked properly, so apologies for that. I'm not sure how to know it's done that in advance or how to fix that, so that's something I can work on another day. Still wanting to add a window to that bathroom, because at the moment it's not got one, and I'm not a fan of rooms with no windows if I can avoid it. I don't mind so much if it's like a hallway corridor type room, but pretty much any other room I think just needs a window. Let me know, do you have any rooms in your house that don't have a window, with the exception of like cellars and stuff? Sorry, basements. And now we're on to landscaping. If I remember rightly, the landscaping's pretty much the reason this isn't a starter. It goes just over, and that's because of the landscaping. Now, I know I could have used the debug objects to make it free or cheaper, but ain't nobody got time for that. When I put show hidden objects and the live edit objects in, I just feel so overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that's there, and I can never find anything. And it just does my head in. So I would rather pay for my landscaping than use the debug objects. If you want to use the debug objects, that's fine. You use the debug objects. I just can't be bothered. Does that mean that I won't use builds from a gallery that contain them? Hell no. It just means I can't be bothered to find them. That's it. Okay, and now we're adding a little enclosed garden area. Although I haven't used a full fence at the back, I figure then you can take advantage of the views, because that is quite a tall fence. I think if you were in your garden sitting height, you wouldn't be able to see over that fence. And what's the point in having a garden with a view if you're going to block it with a fence? So yes, I know it looks a little bit strange, but I kind of like it. And then we're just sorting out the garden, adding a few plants. Although I don't think that the tiny home lot type gets the gardening perks, so These are really more for decoration. I honestly do not use the gardening element of seasons at all. I find it tedious. It's just not a skill that I work on very often. I know that I should, but I don't, so. I did a bike because we can, because we have bikes now in The Sims 4, so. I still don't know how much this build's going to be, because it looks like I mother loaded it at some point, so now we've got 40 grand. So, put a little fire pit in the garden, along with 2 of these nice sort of bohemian benches. I thought it could be a nice outdoor sitting space, because actually you can sit more people there than you could sit in the house. So I thought it'd be a nice space to sit in at night. I've put the nighttime mode on so that I can see how the lighting will work. A little grill. Just rejigging things. I wonder if I noticed that that bush isn't in the pot. Who knows? Doesn't look like I've noticed yet, so. I'd like to think I notice. Put a chess table out back as well, just another way to gain some skills. I'm not sure how much this build came out at in the end. Now I'm just sort of landscaping up until that point. I don't know why I left the gap in the fence like that instead of putting a gate in, because I heard somebody else say that if you enclose it, it counts towards your floor tiles. But I built a different tiny house today and I enclosed the garden and it didn't count it, so I don't know if that was a glitch that's been fixed or what. But this is it. This is the finished build. It's all 100% done now, except for the path, I think, which I'm just going to use terrain paint for, because I'm not sure whether floor tiles count towards the overall tile count, and I'd hate to get caught out that way. In the front yard, yes, very nice. A little bit more landscaping. That's it. I've got to be about done at this point. Notice I said earlier I was done and I wasn't. Sorry about that. Forgot I'd not done my landscaping. My least favourite bit of the build, but it makes such a huge difference to making it look real. Well, real-ish, let's be honest. It's still The Sims. And yeah, that is it. Saving it to the gallery now. What's before and after. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want. Leave a dislike if you want. I'm not sure whether that makes a difference. Enjoy your day.
love me. Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me.